Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I thank the honourable member for Dudley North for bringing this debate before us today? Because this is, as other members have said, a light relief compared to the dark place we've been for far too long, let me put it that way. Much of the points that I would have made have already been made, so, Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm going to crave your indulgence and just have a little anecdote from the past. As some members know, prior to my appearing rather unexpectedly in this place, I was much involved in amateur dramatics and the local pantomime group. And I have indeed been the dame in my time. But on a Thursday night, if I go back to halcyon days of pubs, on a Thursday night, we would repair to one particularly famous old pub in my hometown. And the barman, Sandy, at 11 o'clock would say, "Well, well, boys and girls, well, well, I think we'll need to lock the door." And he'd turn the key in this massive great door and shut it, you see. Carry on pulling the pints. And I turned to a new member of the cast beside me at the bar, and I said, "Goodness me, do you think the bobbies might come knocking the door tonight?" And he laughed and said, "Ha, I'm an off-duty police sergeant." To which caused a slight reaction around the bar. And then a voice further down the bar said, "That's nothing. I'm an honorary sheriff substitute." So they were lax days, but I just tell you the anecdote. There are 2 points I do want to pick up in my brief contribution, which is this. The honourable member for Stoke-on-Trent North made the point that publicans and the staff are trained, and they know the danger signs when somebody is drinking too much. And as often as not, they'll refuse to serve them, or they'll get them into a taxi, get them out of the place. How much better, as the honourable member has said, is that than some lonely bloke drinking himself into a stupor on cheap white lightning or cheap wine at home? And I think all of us know that there are far too many household fires that are caused by somebody being bluted in their seat and dropping a fag down the back of the settee or whatever. So there's a safety aspect to it. Now, the second one I make is simply this. If you or I go on holiday to Spain or Italy or whatever, well, if you're me, you fairly shortly think, well, I'll pop down the village and it's a hot day and you see a nice wee tables outside the place and you have a pint of lager. Let's just switch it the other way round. Visitors come to Highlands of Scotland and they find there are no pubs. Are you kidding? Because tourism is crucial to the Highlands of Scotland. It's the one industry, as I always say, that is actually in the long term fundamentally sustainable. But if you don't have pubs, the visitor experience is going to be much impoverished, to say the very least, and the bad news is that the next year they'll think, well, I'll maybe not go to that bit again. So there is a far wider role of pubs that's not been touched on so far in this debate. And yes, absolutely, I echo all that's been said about pubs being part of the social fabric of our communities, for all the good points that I most certainly would go with.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Jolly Woodman in Chancery Lane, in my constituency, actually the nearest pub to my house in my constituency, does really quality real ale. And people come from miles around just to visit this pub. That is the sort of reaction you want from the pubs in your area.
I could not agree more, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I do hope that the honourable member one day will take me to that splendid place and perhaps introduce me to the delights of the nectar. I will give way for a second. Madam Deputy Speaker, I've said enough, but he's not with us now, but as soon as I get the opportunity, I shall have the honourable member for Clacton to enter my constituent to introduce him to the local delights, of which there are many, and I hope there will carry on being many, because if we lose them, it's a tragedy.